Yeah, I think that Daniel is being accommodative, and I think it's good for the discussion.
Yeah.
He knows and he understands that in recent times there's been a lot of talk about education in emergencies. In fact, there have been studies conducted, funded by donor agencies in this country to try to look at how best you'll be able to provide education for students who are in an emergency situation. And this has been something that's been on the global agenda since COVID. Okay, so what the point is that as at now, Ghana, we do not have those protocols. We have not been able to finalize and kickstart anything on educational emergencies, and that does not refer to even the final year students. It includes the second and the first years who are supposed to also undergo education. Basically, we say that education should not stop because of an emergency situation. So if you go to other places where they have protocols, as soon as there's an emergency situation, those protocols kick in. How do you handle the students when they are in the house, when they are supposed to be somewhere, when they are displaced? All those things are, it is just like you are switching from your national grid to your private generator. It just kicks in and then everything starts rolling. We don't have that in Ghana, and that is a fact.
Okay.
We cannot be prepared for emergency enough. That is also true. But we think that those protocols should be finalized and we try to implement, because this is not the only situation. In fact, I've been doing reviews of violence and clashes and on instability in our secondary schools. And since January, we've recorded about 6-7 issues, including gun violence and other things in various senior high schools, which is a little bit problematic for me. So I think that we need to finalize those protocols and then ensure that as soon as there's an emergency, those protocols kick in. And with this, you bring in Sendolos because they have all the technology and everything mapped up with them. All that you need to do is to give them the guidelines as to when they would they step in when there is an emergency situation and children still need to access education. With the case being driven from their communities to the exam center, I think if they decide to let them write in different communities, they have to think through with that one also. Because you see, this is examination, and I keep saying this, the conditions around examination can either enable students to pass or fail. And that is why we say that you cannot ascribe a particular factor to a student's performance, because so many things take place. So many things determine a student's performance in an examination. So imagine I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm supposed to sit in a bus, guided by police and army, driven from my community to another community. I get there around 6:37. I have to now get prepared. Search and then sit in the exams room, and then I write. After that, I have to come and sit in the bus and then driven back to my community. Come on, these are SHS 3 students.
Right.
I think that we need to take them to the schools that if they agree that they will not allow them to write in their communities, they need to move them to the schools as soon as possible and let them integrate. Stability of study is important so that they can go to the prep like the other students are doing. They can have access to teachers like other students are doing. And then when it is time to write the exams, they wake up in the dormitory, bath, dress, and walk to the exam center. I think this is not too much to ask for us to do for this case.
All right. And he's saying it's a welcome suggestion. So hopefully they listen to this call.